Am I the asshole for not going to my twin's wedding? I, 24 male, have an identical twin. We're not close, but I thought we had basic mutual respect. That belief was tested. I grew up in a traditional southern town and only began coming out in college about 5 years ago. It's been slow, especially with family, since moving to DC in 23 for schoolwork. I've felt more comfortable about living authentically. Okay, so it sounds like OP is coming out of the closet in talking about coming out. After moving, I met my boyfriend, there we go, 26 male, and we've been together for 2 years. Over time, I've introduced him to friends and family when I felt safe. Cut to November 24, I was home for the holidays and told my twin and his fiancée about my boyfriend. They seemed happy for me. While staying with them, wedding details arose and they asked if I'd be bringing a date. I said yes, my boyfriend. My twin had gone to bed, but his fiancée said, while there are pros and cons, it's up to you if you want to bring him. That felt like a green light. Okay. Pros and cons though, like that's the part I'd be a little confused about. That felt like a green light. My twin constantly deferred to her on decisions, so I didn't think I needed a double check. Pros and cons though, like I'd be wanting to know what pros and cons were. Yeah, that feels a little red flaggish, Squirrel Girl fan. I'd be concerned about while there are pros and cons. It's very much just like, oh, you can come if you want to. I like being invited to places, and then, if you're not really, like, invited, or, like, you can come if you want. I think that's where it's a bit of, like, that's a bit of a backhanded way to say it, I guess. Yeah, I prefer we'd like to have you if you can come. Like, I definitely prefer that as well. 5 months passed. My boyfriend and I spent $1,300 on travel, flights, hotel, etc. 3 weeks before the wedding. I mentioned on a call with my brother that we were all set. His tone shifted. Oh, is BF actually coming? How long have you been? 2 years, though. Like, 2 years. I reminded him of the convo with his fiancée. He said he never gave me permission and accused me of making it up. Then said, we can't allow your BF to come. We worry how dad's side will react.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I offered to call dad on the spot. He dodged, saying he'd check with his fiancée, despite saying it was his decision. An hour later, no change. I was still invited, alone. Still expected by a groomsmen match suiting, even though I wasn't in the party, and shop smiling. Yeah, nah, that's bullshit. No, they're asking OP for a lot. I mean, they've already been judged as not the asshole, so, like, I feel, pretty fair saying that so far, but from what I'm reading, we are only seeing one side though as well. We are only ever seeing one side. That's when I snapped. I asked if I didn't invite your fiancé to my wedding, would you still come? He couldn't answer and ended the call after some harsh words. Trying to make things right, I came out to my dad, which I feared for years, to explain the situation. He was surprisingly indifferent and even said uninviting my BF was extreme. Aww. Wow. Okay, so number one, coming out to your dad. So you've been coming out about 5 years ago. Slow. And you've been doing it really slow. That's crazy shit. And then you come out to your dad, which would have been incredibly, oh my god, anxiety inducing. I remember when I came out to my parents, I picked terrible times to do it, but I did it also to be funny. I came out in the middle of a fight that my dad and my ex-stepmom were having at the time. And it stopped them fighting, at least. I came out to my dad, which I feared for years, to explain the situation. He was surprisingly indifferent and even said uninviting my BF was extreme. He offered to talk to extended family. I thought I was removing the main obstacle. Weeks later, my twin called. He now claimed our friends would be weirded out. Okay, cool. So yeah, so the excuse shifted. Yeah, absolutely. And said if my BF's not invited, I'm not coming. He didn't budge. Wow, he cares more about your BF coming more than you. And you've spent $1,300 on this. That's so shit. Here's the kicker. Days later, my dad told me the fiancée admitted she did give me permission but changed her mind when she remembered who would be there. She denied this to my twin. Also, one of her bridesmaids is openly gay and brought her girlfriend, but according to the fiancée, she's not part of the family, so it's different?
Oh, hell no!
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So I didn't go. I'm still wondering if I made the wrong call. My absence was noticed. I got texts asking where I was. My mom had to explain it repeatedly. So instead of avoiding attention, my absence became the story. My relationship with my twin is dead, and some family ties now feel fragile. Part of me wonders, should I have sucked it up and gone solo, just to preserve bonds that shaped my early life? So am I the asshole for skipping the wedding? I mean, it's one of those things definitely where like a wedding hopefully is like one in a lifetime situation for the person that that's wedding it is. So like you'd always want to be there, and it's always one of those things where like, especially with photos and stuff, I mean, look, you're not the asshole. You're not the reason. OP's not the reason why they weren't able to go to the party, to the wedding. It's definitely like feels pretty clear cut to me that this is definitely on the twin. It sounds like the twin might have some stuff that he needs to work out. I'm curious what the comments say. You came out to your dad, got gaslit by your twin, got lied to by the fiance, and still tried to make peace. You did more than enough. They chose drama, not you. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's pretty much it. He wasn't even asked to be part of the bridal party. I think his relationship was dead long ago. Am I wrong? Honestly, if showing up alone means shrinking yourself for their comfort, you did the right thing. Blood does not mean you have to keep showing up to places where you're treated like a problem. Proud of you for standing your ground. Yeah, that's really disappointing. I could imagine that, you know, if this were my sibling, and not being able to go to their wedding would be devastating, but at the same time, you've gotta be patient and like, I don't know, like I feel like it's so silly. Like, who would be there? Like, are there friends that are like super homophobic that would be an issue? But yes, in regards to this, I don't think you're the asshole. Definitely not the asshole. You deserved so much better from your family. I mean, like, it sounds like it needs to be a talk, but I don't even know if that would even be feasible with a brother like that. Maybe it's like, maybe it's wedding stress, but even then, like, I don't think it really means that anyone should be being an asshole about it. So yeah, I'll say not the asshole. Definitely agree with everyone else. Also, we've got a little Deja. Got a little Deja with us. Still with his shaved belly from his ultrasound. Aww. Oh, here are you purring. Pet the cat! I know. Pet the cat. We should have a pet the cat or show the cat, like, thing. Like, redeemy thing, yeah. Matchy. Honestly, it's so close. Sometimes when this is, like, on the couch or, like, on the bed or whatever, like, I'll be like, oh, it's Deja. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Alright, I'm excited to read. I haven't read this one yet, so this is new for me as well. New update. My 15-year-old idiot kid got his girlfriend pregnant on purpose. Oh, wait. No, I have read this one. I've read this one. I haven't had the new update, though, because this is 1 hour ago. This was just updated 1 hour ago. Do we want to do trigger warning mood spoilers? I'll put them here. Throwaway for obvious reasons. This was posted April 26, 2025, so that was earlier this year. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I, 30 female, have a child who is 15 male. We'll call him Ollie plus other children aged 2, 6, 9, and 11. Oh wow, that's a big family. As you can tell by my own age, I was teen parent, yeah, 15 years old. That's crazy. I was lucky we married at 18, still married, healthy relationship, worked our way out of a very dire situation, graduated, started a trade, etc., and we are comfortable, stable in all ways. This information is relevant. Ollie has been friends with this girl, we'll call her Bree, since he was 7 years old. Their family used to live in the same city as us and went to the same school, same friendship group. We know her parents and our long-distance friends ourselves, not close, but say hello when the kids are on video chat, had drinks together before. Bree's family moved to a very small town 3 states away due to rental affordability. No secret. We all talked about the rising costs of everyday life. The cost of living in the city has risen, forcing many locals out. They moved because of that and for better job opportunities 18 months ago. Since then, Ollie has been begging for us to follow, giving us a sales pitch on cheaper housing, paying better jobs, none of which fit either of our professions, the whole works. We have said no because, well, no. But even if we wanted to, our other children in school, sports, and have friends here, selling and buying another house, finding work outside of our skill set, or having to learn new skills, any normal adult would understand this. He does not. Yeah, that's That's brutal. It's really hard when you've got kids, especially when you're 15. You feel like you've got it all figured out. You always think you've got a handle on it, and it's only when you're looking back that you're like, I had no idea. But at the time, you only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know yet. It's only being aware of how much you don't know that you become aware of how little you know. And I mean, like, I know I'm saying that around and around, but it really is like a pie of, you know, things that you know, things that you know that you don't know, things you don't know that you know, just so like innate things, and then all the stuff is that, or all the rest is just stuff that you don't know that you don't know. It also like follows in with like the Dunning-Kruger effect of that sometimes people are not aware of how little they know. They think that they're a lot smarter than they are. I think as we get older, we just become more experienced and we become more exposed to other people. So we kind of get a better idea of all the things that we're just not aware of, or things that we're not good at. So yeah, I think that's kind of just what it's like to grow up. Homie said all that to say just live. Look, I mean, isn't it always in the end? It's always just like, hey, we're all individual people. We're all just trying to make our way in the world. Sometimes it's not that big of a deal in that perspective. And so maybe it's actually a lot easier for us, instead of having like sweeping judgments or like, you know, black and white thinking about things. It's a lot easier just to take things by case basis, because a lot of people have their own stories and narratives. I don't know. That's just kind of how I see it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Well, fast forward to Christmas, Bree's family came back to our city for a holiday, and the kids met up multiple times with each other. It was my understanding that they were always with the other kids, but obviously not, since Bree is pregnant, and I'm certain it was on purpose. I don't love ascribing malicious intent to people before there's proof, but I'm ready to hold grace and patience for that. He has access to condoms. I don't care for opinions on that. My access was restricted and I had him. Absolutely fair, like, especially if they are sexually active or are getting to an age where they might be sexually active or their peers are sexually active. I think once people in your peer group start having sex, it starts to feel like there's a bit more pressure to conform. Absolutely, I agree that if your kids are anywhere near near the age of being sexually active, especially through puberty, it's absolutely just better to just educate and give access to protection, because kids are gonna do things because they're not thinking about the consequences, because they don't have the experience of what consequences feel or look like. So yeah, I think it's just a lot easier just to like make sure that they know how to avoid it in the first place, so that hopefully it doesn't happen. The question is, would you buy them condoms or would you tell them to get condoms themselves? I would honestly, I would be like, hey, I put together a care package. I'm not a parent. I'm not planning on being a parent, but based on my experiences of being a kid and the times that adults have had to try to have these conversations with me, I would say just put together a care package and be like, look, these are all the things that you need to have safe sex. This is what, you know, this looks like. Here are, like with condoms, I'd probably just like, I'd imagine that you'd know your kid's general size. I don't know. But yeah, kids aren't always able to. Exactly, Squirrel Girlfriend. Like, it's not always... and also, like, I think people also have a lot of shame around buying it. Or, like, fear or anxiety. Or, like, maybe not their disposable income. Or, just like... there are so many reasons that would block a kid from being able to do it. So I think, like, as a responsible adult... I don't even think just a parent. I just think an adult would be really good to just... get them like a little care package and, make sure that they've got everything that they could possibly need. I'm not necessarily saying like, like a plan B or, anything like that. I'm also saying like preventative stuff. Like, I think if you've got a daughter, talking about birth control, look, I don't know. I would just put together like a small packet, just like in a little bag, and just like hand it to them and just be like, look, like, I don't know if you want to keep this. I would also explain not keeping condoms like in your wallet because the heat can degrade the plastic. You know, just have a chat. Just find out where they're at, what they know, and then kind of fill in the gaps. Some instant ramen and popcorn. Yeah, I mean, like, that's important too. Like, you gotta keep, you know, your salts up. Get some carbs in. Carbo load. Some fruits, yeah, you gotta get your sugars. Schoolgirl fan, if a sex-specific care package is too awkward, save sex stuff in a general first aid and other useful item kit. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, especially for girls, like, I think we already kind of are used to carrying around a little package, because I remember in my school bag, like, I just have, like, you know, sanitary products, a spare pair of underwear just in case I had an accident at school. So like, yeah, I already had like a little packet with me, so like the idea of having some extra things in there probably wouldn't be all that out of the ordinary. He has had sex ed from me, my husband, school. He knows damn well how babies are made and how not to have one. But again, not everything is 100% fallible. Like, condoms aren't 100% effective. And there's no birth control that's 100% effective except for abstinence, which is, I know why that gets preached, but also, like, kids are going to do what kids are going to do. So I think it's just better to make sure that they're practicing safely, at least. But I think the narrative that this mother is saying is that he's baby trapped the family. Ollie now wants me to move in with her. Now wants to move to be with her and the baby. It's confirmed. I've talked to her parents and I said no. I don't feel I need a reason, but he asked. This is their reason. You're 15. We don't have any proof it's your child yet. I'm not moving us away from our lives, and you aren't going alone until you're 18. We will do a DNA test when we will look at parenting. Then we will look at parenting plans and topped it off with a too bad, too sad. You made your bed. Now you have to sleep in it. I mean, I feel that playing the bad cop in this scenario just is gonna push your kid away, and then it's gonna turn into one of those scenarios where it's just like, I don't talk to my parent, I've cut them off, why doesn't my kid talk to me anymore? Squirrel Girl fan, yeah, there aren't really any good options for mom here. Yeah, I mean, absolutely there's not. I really feel for her. Like, this is a really tough situation to be put into, and like, you've got a comfortable life. You've really overcome the odds of being a teen mom at 15, pregnant at 15. That's so young. So like, she's really given away like her 20s, and you know, she's gonna be giving away her 30s to her family, and like, you know, not to actually, you know what, not to put anything on this lady. Like, I don't know how much she gives to her family in that sense. Like, I can't necessarily just expect that she's slaving away for them. But it is. Man, yeah, it's a really tough situation. I guess, like, for me, it would just be like, I would be doing everything I could not to push my kid away at this situation and not ascribing malice to his actions, because just because the outcome of the situation is really shitty, it doesn't necessarily mean that the intentions behind it were really shitty. This might be more of a situation. I don't know. Maybe I should just keep reading. I'll just keep reading, and then I'll have more thoughts towards the end. Also, the DNA test. I don't know, chat. What do you guys think about the DNA test? Do you think that's fair? I mean, that's kind of more ascribing something to the girl Brie. And like, yeah, maybe this is an elaborate thing where it turns out that Brie got pregnant, and then Ollie is now trying to vouch for the kid in order to, like, you know, be closer to Brie. Maybe this is just like, you know, they're really, really close friends, or maybe they are romantically involved, and Ollie doesn't really care that Brie got pregnant with someone else. Yeah, I mean, I guess she's really looking for any reason why the baby's not tied to them. Girl fan. It also feels bad to say you're not even sure it's your kid. It does feel bad. I would be curious to know how that information was given, because I would be interested to see if it had anything to do with, because if she was throwing it in his face, like, we don't even know if it's your kid, like, I would be very, like, that to me just feels kind of unfair, cruel. It feels cruel. He took that back to Bree. And I mean, yeah, of course he would. Like, Bree is the person now that he's, emotionally bonded to. He wants to set up a life with her. He's been, imagining this for a while. He's been pitching this for a while. So, like, of course he would go straight back to her. And he'd obviously paint the worst picture of it as well if he's, doesn't have a high level of emotional intelligence. Sheros, it sucks, but that's a life-changing situation and the person should be sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a life-changing thing. I think that the issue is more like, how was that information given, I guess, for me. He took that back to Bree, and our communication between me and her parents has been cut. I'm a terrible person. My comments about the DNA test are disgusting, and it's fueling my son's hate for me. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was worried about, is the fact that now the communication has shut down, because instead of everyone coming together and having a talk about it, I'm guessing some things were said in the heat of the moment about each other, and probably some embellishment, and probably not a lot of space for like actually hearing and being vulnerable for each other. He says, I'm keeping him from the love of his life and future baby, using my own successful relationship as proof that it will work out. Absolutely. He's only seen proof of teen relationships working out and teen pregnancy working out. I actually don't even know if I'm right or not. I'm just really upset. I feel like my life I worked really hard for has been destroyed. Edit for update. To answer some questions, she is due September around the 22nd, so no, there's no option for abortion. I don't think that or adoption ever was. Ollie admitted it was on purpose last night. Okay, so he's come clean. Apparently, it was Bree's idea first as a joke that turned into a plan together. Bree's parents will only pass messages through my son, and I have heard this for myself. I stood outside the door and listened to them tell him, tell your mother, insert info below. Because I know I will just go off on her about that bullshit still. They are talking shit about me with my kid. Yeah, that's gotta feel bad. Like, that's gotta feel horrible overhearing your kid talking about you, and again, possibly not in the best light ever. Schoolgirl fan, yeah, I mean, she did imply dishonesty of their daughter regarding sexual relationships. I'd be resentful and pissed at the OP too. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be upset on her parents' part as well. They are appalled I would think that way of Bree when I have known her for more than half my life, and do not wish to talk to me. I will not allow him to move out there alone. There are some past issues, such as Bree breaking up with him twice in the last 18 months because she found someone that she liked more in her new town around August and October last year, same boy. And when it ended, she came back to Ollie. See, that there was what I was thinking about before, was that possibly is this... I mean, I guess that's exactly why she wanted the DNA test. Bree is a nice girl, but her behavior is toxic and has been since a child. A child? I don't know if I want to call a child's behavior toxic. I'll hold out. Her mother and stepfather are nice, but the relationship is unstable. The house is chaos, 9 children combined, blended family, and 2 to 3 teens with serious mental health struggles. Well, I mean, all of this sounds like it feeds into each other. If we've got serious mental health struggles in the teens, then it's possible the parents also have mental health struggles. And that would explain why the house is in chaos, possibly why they have 9 kids, why they're divorced, and why they're now a blended family. I mean, and none of these are bad things. It's just the fact that these are all things that are going to add to each other, because blended families are never easy. They require a lot of work. You would be leaving stability for chaos and no structure. That's very fair. If she is wanting to build a stable life for him and his kid, I would genuinely think the better way to do it would be bringing her and the kid towards them. But they did talk about life, like financial struggles, so it's very possible that would even be untenable. But yeah, stability, yeah, it's going to be so hard for them to build a really stable life at 15 when when they're living in chaos in a house with people who probably have more accessibility needs. And I say that as someone who also has accessibility needs when it comes to my mental health as well. I want a DNA test. I will not budge on that. I am close to cutting his contact totally at this point because they're only empowering him and reinforcing his behavior towards me and his father. His father is a man of few words, which is unhelpful. Okay, yeah, so that's another issue. He's probably not necessarily speaking up or like putting his foot down, which is unhelpful. So far he's backed everything I have said and only really chosen to say, "You have the intelligence of a pear." Wow. Again, I don't think that's helping the kid at all, the relationship between the parents and the kid at all. Update 2, May 30th. Things have gone south even further. At this point, husband and I have been blocked on all social media and numbers blocked, but the communication with Ollie has continued. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' email address to send an email to, but before using that, I asked him to video chat Bree with me there, and then I could ask Bree to please get her parents so I could talk to them about this and tell her that if they are going to continue to refuse, then I would be blocking all contact to Ollie and communication until this is resolved. Okay, so we're pushing it further. Okay, so this isn't going to help. This is going to push everyone and make everyone more upset. Like, we're using threats now and ultimatums, and I don't know anyone who reacts well to that. I told Ollie this before the call. Great, with no proper time to deal with that. At first he flipped out about it, but it was this or I cut communication completely. Again, ultimatums. I do think he understood that it is not okay that her parents are speaking to me through minors, and he said himself he would like us to talk to each other. Absolutely, he probably just wants you guys to actually get together and chat it out. Bree joined the call and hung up when she saw I was there too. Ollie called back a few times and she didn't answer. She asked via text why I wanted to talk to her, and Ollie told her that I wanted to speak to her mother, and if we didn't resolve the communication issue, then all contact would be ended until her parents made contact with us and we make a plan for the next few months, including DNA and then birth arrangements. Said that if the baby is his, we will travel there for the birth and first few weeks after. Told her that I personally think it probably is his baby, but I want to be sure and make sure everything is done right from the start. Yeah, okay. She's being very, very controlling. I mean, it feels like she's trying to punish them in a way, being okay, you've lost all rights to, make decisions for yourselves and blah, blah, blah. Because, they've already made a decision, right? They've already made this really big decision, and punishing them for that decision isn't going to help them grow up. It's just going to make them resent you and see you as an obstacle or something to overcome. I really think that there needs to be better communication here, but I guess I don't know, I guess it's really hard. I can imagine for OP that emotions are really running high. There's a lot of anxiety here and desire to control and make sure that everything's done right, and I'm seeing language done right, and that's a very moralistic thing to say, what is right in a context. I mean, that's her opinion of that, and I just worry that her striving to do things right is going to stop her from actually having and bonding with her son during a very, very pivotal part of his life. Well, Bree blocked him with a reply, and he is totally heartbroken, not eating, sitting in his room all day and night, not mad at me, surprisingly. Very, very sorry for him, and to us, sad about it all. And I think regretful. He even asked if there was a way to undo it for himself. I haven't talked about signing over rights, a male abortion his father called it, because I think he's just upset right now. Yeah, absolutely. Just sit on that for a bit. That's another big decision. Just wait. A mutual friend of Bree and Ollie's here in our hometown showed him a few posts she's made in the last 24 hours. Things like, "It's you and me against the world, baby girl," and memes about deadbeat dads. Yeah, that's... yeah, this is one of those situations where it's it makes sense why everyone's reacting that way, but because everyone's acting that way, it's just forcing everyone further and further apart. Squirrel Girlfriend, I understand why OP's making these decisions, but she's doing the wrong things. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think she's prioritizing the idea of getting things right and you know, being on top. Like, I think maybe, again, I don't know OP's background. I don't know what her relationship with her family was like. But considering, you know, where she was at 15, you know, she got pregnant as well. I mean, maybe she's just scared that, I don't know, maybe she's trying to like overcompensate it, like over for it, something like that. She also announced the pregnancy, which she hadn't done yet, and the post had some single mother facts and quotes. Okay, so she's already decided that she's a single mother. I mean, I wonder what that reply is when she says Brie blocked her with a reply. So Ollie's friends knew about the situation, and a few more under the impression he had dumped her and the baby, going by the posts, but when we explained what had happened, they all rallied for him in the comments. I said not to, and now she's blocked them and we can't see what she's posted. Okay, cool, so she's just isolating herself away now. This is just a nightmare. Yeah, it is. I have had a plan personally. Not set, but something I wanted to talk to her parents about, but I don't even want to waste my time at this point. Ollie gave us Brie's parents' email address to send an email to with said plan. Basically, Brie does a DNA blood test, we'll pay for the full $1,500 for it, and if it is his baby, we can book flights and plan to be there for the first month. So with Ollie too, maybe even the whole family, and we can just also work on a parenting plan and getting into mediation for a judge to sign off on it. Ollie's father and I split for the first 7 months of his life, so we've done this before and we know the process. Oh, they split, so they're divorced. Did they say that? His father. Okay, I guess maybe I could have inferred it from that. Fair enough. Ollie and I's father split. Oh, split for the first 7 months. Okay, so maybe they're back together again? Maybe that's what it is. But at this point, I think I will just leave it to settle before sending an email. I think that's the correct thing to do. Okay, so this is June 3rd. So this was only a couple of days. So this was 4 days after update 2. Editor's note. Edited out the bottom 2/3 of the updated post. Edited recast of the original post. Fair enough. Squirrel fan, no, they're together now, but they weren't for a while when he was born. Okay, cool. So they're back together now. Alright, update again, June 3rd. Ollie's friends were able to see your Instagram through an old account, different email. I don't use Instagram enough to know what that means, but they probably weren't blocked when they reactivated. Sure, yeah, you can make, extra accounts. They found the pregnancy announcement post, and if you scroll past across, it showed a digital copy of the scan. Oh, okay, they found the pregnancy announcement post. Okay, sorry, I thought it was the parents. Yeah, never mind. If you scroll past it, it showed a digital copy of the scan Brie sent us as a 16-week scan. Apparently the first scan she had at the OB that is dated 0404 and clearly says GA 19 plus 3 weeks, making an August due date, I believe, or very early September. This would not line up with the due date given to us, but does line up with when her parents told me she was pregnant mid-April. They told us we've had the pregnancy confirmed and sent a photo of the printed pic, which the date isn't on there. I actually think it may have been cut off the top. I haven't told Ollie this yet because I want to be sure. I'm very concerned about his mental health at the moment and taking that into consideration. Good, thank you. Yes, absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. That's the first thing you've done that I've been like absolutely 100%. But unless she gave the wrong period dates and the baby measured in 16 weeks, then it is not possible for it to be our son's. Also added information, her due date from what we know is September 22nd. She was here from December 20th to Jan 7th and saw Ollie December 1st and 22nd and January 4th and 5th. Never overnight. I asked Ollie when did this happen and he said January 4th was the only time. Okay, which makes more sense as they were in a public gathering otherwise. They were at a mutual friend's birthday that night but never stayed overnight. I have had 5 kids and I know the dates are too close to figure it out that way. Ollie also said that the joke Brie made was to just see if it happens. The pregnancy because then it's obviously meant to be and we would be able to move. To me, it sounds like she had the plan a lot longer, but I may be biased here. Alright, fair enough. Editor's note, OP made a separate update on the June 25th, but it was removed, later reinstalled in the first update post. So June 15th, 2025, same update post 12 days later. I spoke to Bree's biological father, lives in this town, who had no idea about any of this. Before you come for me, there was no known DV or anything. I felt I had run out of options at this point, and I just wanted a way to contact him. Bree's mother then made contact, agreed to the blood test if we paid for it. Ollie and Bree spoke again, and Bree asked to come here for a holiday and have an ultrasound with him to prove dates in person. I agreed to this, but I may not be thinking straight with the stress that we've all been under. She says she is 26 weeks, sent him a photo of her belly, which has grown, and told him that there is no other option but for him to be the father, that the ultrasound has to go by her last period date, and she didn't remember, so she went by her app, and it was the period before. That's why the dates are out on the scan. I asked if she had a physical booklet of pregnancy notes or something, because I know from experience that they have all the confirmed information on them, but she said everything is digital with her doctor, and I don't want to push because it's not my medical info. I'm wondering if I do just fly her out here on my own terms. Her mother agreed, and do the blood and ultrasound here and put an end to it all. I don't know. At this point, like, especially if you're like concerned about it possibly not even being your kid's baby, yeah, I'd do that. I would do that. Absolutely. Gas, it's hard for me to believe a mum would take her time to write this down. Sure, she can use it as an outlet to vent, but keep up regular updates and make it this detailed. I don't know. I think also, like, maybe she's also alone. Maybe she doesn't have many people that she can talk to regards to, like, you know, this feels like such a big thing, and, you know, and also if you've got friends who you know would talk to other friends and you don't necessarily want those other friends to talk about it. So, yeah, I can understand why maybe she wants some anonymity and some, like, Reddit, you know, like outsourcing, you know, therapy, I guess, in a way. She has, like, 4 other kids, though. Yeah, she does, but she's also got a husband, and I'd hope that he'd be pulling his weight in this, too. Alright, update 5, June 25th, 2025. Same update post 10 days later. We've all come to a travel arrangement. We paid for Bree to fly out, and her father was paying for the ticket home. Bree was supposed to fly to us this morning and stay for 6 weeks total, flying back sometime in August. Her father's in charge of that flight. She was staying with us over these next few weeks while we do our annual July 4th family vacation for a week, and then a couple more weeks back here at home for the ultrasound blood test. So she's staying overnight in the house with the son. I mean, like, I guess she can't get any more pregnant, but, like, I'm questioning that. Like, why doesn't she just stay with her dad if her dad's in the same town? I guess maybe she doesn't want to stay with her dad. I mean, that's plausible. This was decided together, both families, because Bree and Ollie would like to have some kind of positive experience memories during the pregnancy, and obviously if baby it wasn't his, Bree would be taken to her father's and we would be finished with it all. I mean, I guess. Alright, fair enough. But she never turned up for her flight. She texted the night before that the doctor did not recommend she should not travel as she is at risk of preterm labor due to her age. What? And her severe morning sickness makes her only able to tolerate pineapple juice, so she's needing to be hospitalized and maybe even deliver early. Oh shoot. That's crazy. This is on top of a group photo that included Bree, obviously pregnant in a tight tee, hugging the boy she was dating in a new town, his hand on her belly. It was quickly removed from a story when Ollie asked. I think it was intentional to make him jealous. Alright, I'm starting to sense the toxic behavior the mom was talking about. I am done. I do not believe her or her parents. I have contacted a lawyer and a therapist. I will not be updating again until I know the outcome of the DNA test that I assume will not be done until after the baby's born, since I was told today I cannot force her to have while pregnant. If this baby is Ollie's and my grandchild, I am willing to move Bree here and have her live with us. Okay, that was what I was saying before. It has no chance and will continue to ruin my son's life from afar. Damn. Teen pregnancies can be higher risk? Fair enough. I mean, their bodies aren't fully developed, hey? That's crazy shit. Okay, new update. This was July 13th, so this was 7 days ago. 7 days ago. Editors note, OP made the latest update on a separate post, but also added the same body text onto the first update post. Okay, so update number 6. July 13th, 2025, new post almost 3 weeks later. Newest update. My 15-year-old my 15-year-old got his GF pregnant on purpose. I didn't plan on updating prior to the DNA test, but I can confidently say we do not need it to know the truth. We will likely still do one if Bree sticks to her story. Only I will go through the courts at this point. Wow, things have gotten serious. We have a family lawyer, and he has advised these updates are fine as long as I do not identify anyone by name, location, etc. Okay, I mean, I'd love to know what the conversation is like with the family lawyer being like, hey, so I started a Reddit thread and it's kind of gaining me a lot of karma. These are like online points on Reddit. Is it okay if I keep posting this on here? I don't know. I'm curious what the conversation was like. I had a lot of helpful messages on here and I do read them all even if I don't reply. One was from a radiographer who suggested I look at the measurements of the baby on the ultrasound if I'm able to get scan pictures and then use that to calculate if the baby was 16 weeks on that scan. I've kept that idea in mind if I ever got the chance to see the scan myself. The same Redditor also raised concerns that she also had this one scan at 16 weeks and there wasn't a 20-week scan again 4 weeks later. All OBs would do a scan at 18 to 22 weeks. Interesting. Okay. So, alright, okay. Fair enough. Ollie and Brie were obviously their real names. Yeah, no, obviously not. The one photo we have seen is a photo of a scan, a profile shot of the baby's face at 16 weeks, and there hasn't been another scan since then. We've been playing it safe and being careful with how we tread around Brie, not wanting to cause any arguments. We have not mentioned this to them yet, and if by chance someone tells them this via this post, or they know about this post, we don't care, we have nothing to use since the baby isn't Ollie's. And this is how I know. Okay, cute. And this is how I know. Brie and Ollie have many mutual friends, but only one other girl, Hannah, who is still friends with both of them from within the group. Hannah believes Ollie is the father because that's what Brie says, but she had a falling out with Brie this week. It led to her talking to Ollie, and then she sent Ollie a video that Brie sent her after the ultrasound in April. Prior to this, Brie had told her not to show him because he wasn't going to be in the baby's life by choice, and all the things she was posting about deadbeat dads. Right. Okay, so this was during the point where she was going single mother, like when she was doing all that shit. Alright, so she sent Ollie a video that Brie sent. So Brie sent Hannah a video after the ultrasound. The video shows multiple measurements being done, and I was able to see clearly that the baby measured 19 weeks, and the scan was the 20-week scan. There is no week that baby is Ollie's baby. She is due August 26th. Ollie knows all of this and is doing okay. Very angry, but he has the support he needs. Okay, there you go. There you go. I don't want to say I called it, but I mean, Ollie didn't know. Ollie wasn't in it. I didn't call that part. All we can do is speculate as to why my son was the target of this plan. I know we will likely never know the truth. To clear some things up, I will not be taking this up with Brie and her family until after the baby is born. I am not concerned about the DNA test, but will still do one. In the video, the OB nurse, whoever is doing the scan, says, so your due date is August 26th, which lines up perfect for your last period. So I know that's the due date, and you can clearly see the numbers on screen showing the measurements are 18 to 19 weeks. Ollie cannot be the father. She wasn't even in the state. There is plenty of other detailed clues I have, but will not post. I think the father is the boyfriend in that town, but what I don't understand is why Ollie was better. Yes, there is more money, but we aren't rich. We just live smart. Thanks for the support. I mean, it could also be the fact that things kind of seem tumultuous with this other guy. I mean, it sounds like she broke up with him, like Ollie, multiple times to be with this other guy. And so I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, yeah, this is real fucked. That's real fucked. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, she was just like, oh, he's never going to be the supportive dad, and so I need to baby trap him, which is dumb. It's dumb. Like, I don't know how she thought that was going to play out. Like, I guess maybe she thought Ollie was enough of a simp to just, like, not care, but I don't know, man. It feels bad. Because, like, I can only feel for Ollie, and also, like, what kind of trust issues is he gonna have? Oh god. Wow, that was a mammoth of a story. And also I think we added a bunch. We've got some comments. If she had unprotected sex with multiple people, then you need your son to get tested for everything. Ollie is lucky to have parents who are looking out for him. Absolutely. Like, again, I think OP was doing the right things, but going about it the wrong way. And I think they really risked pushing Ollie away. Because, like, maybe they can, like, you know, I think it's very much that survivor's bias or, like, confirmation bias. You know, that just because, you know, the mum had a bad feeling about it and then looked into it and then it ended up being a bad thing, like, that absolutely would feed into that thing of, like, I knew something was bad and so I was, like, right to be as harsh. But again, like, it would really be down to how did OP communicate with their son about their concerns in the first place. That would be my concern. OP we have done. He's been given the all clear, thank goodness. Yeah, cool. So OP's doing all the right things. I just worried about how they were going about it, how they were communicating with their son. Commenter 2, good that you're protecting Ollie. Are you planning to do anything on this lying, manipulative behavior left unaddressed? He has the potential to manipulate not only you, but others, including his friends, future partners. OP, therapy. Full stop. How believable do you think the story is? If it's not real, it's dedicated. This sounds like things I've heard having happened. Like, I'm not surprised if it were true, I guess. OP definitely didn't handle things well at first. No, absolutely not. Definitely not. Commented 3, I would love to know what exactly you've done when it comes to consequences inside the home. He obviously needs therapy, but therapy isn't a consequence, it's a necessity. It seems like you've let him off the hook for everything because you feel bad that he's sad. That's not enough. OOP. We believe in natural consequences rather than punishments. Okay. Alright, so that kind of, like, runs against what I had kind of assumed before. So, you know, maybe OP was more just like a laying down the law, like, you know, hey, this is just what it is, like, suck it up, I guess we gotta do it. Like, maybe it was more practicality rather than callousness. So there I am. I'm attributing callousness to OP's words when that's not even necessarily fair. So a natural consequence for this situation is exactly what happened. A natural consequence for the intention to manipulate us, to move, etc. is now the loss of trust. With the loss of trust comes the loss of freedom until that trust is earned. Yeah, that's absolutely valid. But if I'm totally honest, my kid just needs therapy and support at this point. Absolutely OP. He has lost everything, his confidence, his reputation, his girlfriend, even if for the better, a large majority of his friends and their parents, who now don't want him around their kids, etc. Just because we know the baby isn't his doesn't mean the rest of the world around us does. Brie still insists it is, and most believe her. He's being punished, but not by me. That's very fair. Absolutely, you need to love your kid right now. OOP clarifies details on the pregnancy scan at 16 and 20 weeks. OOP, she never had a 16-week scan. She had a 20-week scan that she told us was 16 weeks. As far as I know, that is the only scan she's had. We will do a DNA test via the courts if she tries to pull child support. Where we live, you either need to sign the birth certificate and agree that you're the father to be put on the CS child support, or if you disagree, then you need to do a DNA test and it's court ordered. So that would depend on what they do. I'm not wasting money on a test when I know 100% already that baby isn't is. OOP on taking the proper steps of dealing with this whole situation. OOP, we have spoken to a family lawyer, and in our state, Bree can put him on the birth certificate without him signing it, but in order to file for child support, he needs to agree that he is the father, plus be cited as listed on the birth certificate. If he raises a disagreement about being the father, it goes through court and DNA would be ordered. Absolutely. This is fucking exhausting. Oh my god. Yeah, this is very teenage drama. Very, very teenage drama. My mom wants to invite my ex, whom I cheated on in my wedding, and my fiance is absolutely furious. Help. Throwaway account as my family knows my original account. So the first post was June 27th, 2025. Oh wow, not that long ago. I, 28 male, was a terrible person in the past, which I have moved on from. I used to drink a lot, had cheated on my ex, 27 female, countless times in our 3-year relationship. I don't know how she was stuck with me so long. So one day she found out I was cheating again and broke things up, which I don't blame her for. I was cut off by my family, which was heartbreaking. Okay. I eventually improved myself, got in therapy, and eventually apologized and reconciled with my family. Yeah, that's great. I'm really glad to hear that. That's really hard. Realizing that you're doing self-sabotaging behaviors and then getting yourself out of it is really good. I hope that you're still in therapy and you're still ongoing with it, because that's still important. Found out my mother and my ex are still in contact, which I didn't mind. They were close even when I was with her. My family invites my ex to family gatherings as her family is, let's say, not that good.
That's weird.
Okay, not that good. I'd be curious what that means. Which I again don't care. We both are civil and don't interact much. Eventually, I met a new girl, 28F, and 1 year later, I am engaged to her. 1 year later. Okay, I'm curious what the eventually was. 3 relationship, 27X, I think that's how old they all are now, so we don't really know what the age gap, what it was, how long ago this was, I guess. I'm engaged to her, yeah, and she knows how I was in the past. As I had told her, we are planning wedding to host only close friends and family. Good, I'm glad that she knows. I'm glad that you told her. I hope you told her, like, you know, all the stuff that she'd need to know. That's good. That's really good to do. Then problem arrives that my mother, who's close to my ex, wants to invite her to the wedding, and my fiance is absolutely furious. And the reason my mother's giving is that it's a family event.
Huh?
So your ex is a family member? Honestly, I don't want her to be in my wedding too. I called her to talk about it and she told me the same damn thing. She doesn't want to be in my wedding, but mother's insisting, which is infuriating. Okay, so this is your mother's issue. My mother is still saying she won't come if my ex isn't coming, and my fiance had arguments with her. Okay, so has your mom got an issue with your fiance then? I'm seriously thinking of not inviting her at this point. But if she doesn't come, I'm afraid that I might be cut off from my family again. This is so infuriating. Absolutely. Relevant top comments. Does OP's mother think he hasn't changed since the breakup, or did he move on too quickly? OP, I was 22 when I broke up with my ex. I think 6 years is a lot of time to change. Yeah, that's fair. That's really fair. 6 years, like, especially 22, your brain's not even, like, fully developed yet. I think, like, you can have a little bit of grace for who you were. I mean, like... I'm curious what led the family to break it off, because that's the part that's like a little weird to me. I would expect a family to be the more likely to try and work through it, but I'd be curious to see what it was that led to, yeah, them wanting to cut you off. Like, is it just because of how you treated your girlfriend? Like, does your family just love your girlfriend so much that they cut you off for her? I guess they did. It's commenter 1. It's your wedding, not your mom's wedding. Tell your mom outright. She doesn't want to come. I don't want her to come. Fiance doesn't want her to come. Stop being weird about it and let it go. Do not invite her. It is a weird entitlement when parents dictate guest lists anyway. Unless they're paying, they get no say. If they are paying, you have the right to draw boundaries. Good luck. If your mom is that hung up on it, maybe you have to let her go too. I don't know, man. That just sucks. Like, I'd hope your mom would be able to see reason. Commenter 2, not the asshole. Your mother appears to be either hellbent on punishing you for the rest of your life by making you interact with your ex on every occasion she can, or she's so emotionally enmeshed with your ex she's willing to lose a son, a daughter-in-law, and contact with any children you may have in the future over this. Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is kind of like the last, like, I mean, not like the last OP, because last OP was fine, but yeah, that same thing of being very punishing. Like, yeah, as like a consequence or like a way to control. Time to point out to her that it's not just you she's upsetting, it's your fiancé, and that there may be long-term consequences to this. In the final analysis, who do you want a relationship with, your fiancé or your family? And in terms of the family, make quite sure you get the message out there to the rest of the family that you are not disinviting your mother, but that her insistence on bringing your ex to your wedding is causing a great deal of distress and hurt to your fiancé, and that, as her husband, you must support her, especially at a wedding. Yeah, absolutely, hands down. Cool, girlfriend. At this point in the story, invite the mom, not the ex, who doesn't even want to go, and if mom doesn't show, then let that be on mom. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, this last commenter's idea of getting in front of the story as well, and, like, being like, hey, it's not that I didn't invite her, it's that she didn't want to come. think that's a good idea. All right, so June 28th. Okay, so this is about just under a month ago. Update. Honestly, I got overwhelmed with the responses. Thank you, everyone who replied. As basically said, I grew a spine, talked to my mother about with me and my fiance sitting down. She wouldn't drop it, saying she doesn't like my fiance. There we go. Well, my fiance yelled at her, so she's not coming to my wedding anymore. Yeah, it sounds like your mum chose your ex over your happiness and her relationship with you. I sent all wedding guests explaining the situation that my mother wants to invite my ex to my wedding, and basically most of them are on my side. Most of them are on your side? Not all of them? Those who said I am ungrateful, let's just say they are uninvited and blocked. Yeah, fair enough. My brother, 34 male, called me to say that I did the right thing, which was a relief. Yeah, I can sense that. Going further, I would probably go low contact with my mother. My ex called me. Me and my fiance talked to her on speaker, and she apologized and said no to my mother and won't drop it. I said okay, and of course she's not invited. What an awkward situation to be in. Just like, oh, that's so much. My father said he's not coming too if his wife's not coming, which is like valid. Yeah, fair enough. So the wedding is actually small with 50 people, but the planned reception is huge with 150 people, which my father is throwing on my behalf. My mother will be there, so there might be drama. Oh, okay, cool. So you're having a separate wedding reception from... No, the ceremony from the reception. Alright, fair enough. I mean, I guess, as long as you got your mum there for some of it, I guess. I mean, it sucks that she won't be there for the actual ceremony, but... I don't know, that's her call, really. Edit, should have added that my father and father-in-law both are throwing reception together. Oh, that's cute. I like that they're working together. I will have security just in case of the wedding. TLDR, my mother wanted to invite my ex, whom I had cheated on, to my wedding. Relevant comments. Comment 1. I am glad you put your foot down. Since your father's hosting for the reception, are you sure he won't cancel it from being pressured by your mother? Do you have a backup plan just in case? OP. Father said mother won't do anything stupid at reception and ex is not invited in reception. Comment 2. So your dad's not going to go on his own son... So your dad's not going to go to his own son's wedding because his wife is a... but will go to the reception looking like a loser who didn't go to his own son's wedding. Got it. OP. I don't know. My brothers don't have a close relationship with dad. To be honest, I'm the favorite child who was spoiled rotten by him. That was the reason I was terrible in the past. Okay, cool. That's a good awareness to have. Comment 3. I wouldn't stop with security. Put passwords on everything. Flowers, cake, catering, venue, the whole thing. She's nuts enough to do something as equaling stupid as inviting your ex. I don't know. I feel like that's a little far. Like, I don't know if she'd go to the point of sabotaging, but I don't know, maybe. Who is/are hosting the reception? OP, my father and father-in-law both throwing the reception together. Comment 4, all of this could have been avoided. You and the ex agreed to fake her coming and simply call sick the day of. OP, my mother's the type of person to throw a fit in between the wedding. The only reason my father's allowing her to come to reception is because she's now promised to remain shut. Just shut. I know, poor ex. That poor ex. What an awkward situation for them. Alright, update. 3 days later, July 1st. So I had a talk with father-in-law and fiancé about the situation of all, and my father-in-law will alone cover the cost of the reception. I offered him some money to him, but he refused, saying I'm like his son, which made me tear up. That's so sweet. And my father and father-in-law had a shouting match on phone about it, so father and mother aren't coming to reception anymore. Really? I mean, I thought they were throwing it together. Like, what's the issue? Okay. Maybe I'll explain it. Fiancé is happy, and I'm happy that our wedding and reception areas are going to be drama-free. We will definitely have security there, but it's going to be hard explaining to everyone what happened. Many people are going to bail out of the wedding. I haven't talked to them since, and will probably contact father after wedding and reception are over. Last night, I'm going to be honest, I cried like a baby, saying that my mother and father aren't going to be there, but my fiancé comforted me, probably the most amazing woman I met. I can't wait to spend my life with her, and I failed my PhD exam, lol. Oh no! Results came a few hours ago, gonna try again afterwards, I guess. That sucks. Going forward, I'm probably gonna be in low contact with father and no contact with mother. Damn. Top comments. Comment 1, man, life throwing some wild curled balls at you. Keep your chin up. Remember, at the end of the day, it's about you and your amazing fiancé. Wishing you both a drama-free and lovely day. Absolutely. Comment 2, OP, give yourself grace regarding the PhD exam. You've been under a huge amount of stress caused by your mother. For those who bail, just know they never had your best interests at heart, but it sounds like your father-in-law does, and you're marrying into a strong family who's got your back. Work to build your relationship with him. I agree, going no contact with your mother is the right thing to do. She needs to take some time and think about her actions and how she's treated you and your fiancé. You might want to go no contact with your dad for a while too, until well after the wedding and getting settled and having finished your PhD. Take care of yourself, OP. Gosh, okay, that's insane. I don't even know. Yeah, I think we're missing some info. Yeah, there's no point. They just had a shouting match. I mean, yeah, it doesn't say exactly what sparked it. All right, here we go. We've got an update. This is after the wedding. So this was 11 days later, July 12th. So this is 8 days ago. So yesterday I got married. It was the happiest day of my life, but yeah, it sucked not having my parents there, whom I thought wouldn't go this much against me. They didn't even come to the reception too. I honestly cried after the reception, but my fiance was understanding and comforted me. I couldn't have asked for a better half than her. My ex had sent a message of congratulations after wedding, which I replied with thanks. After wedding, I still haven't contacted my parents, but father sent me an air fryer as a wedding gift to my address, which is like an appliance, so gonna use it. Reception was awesome. Thanks to you all for the wonderful comments supporting and suggestions for me. I honestly thought I don't deserve all this due to how terrible I was in the past. But people can change. If you've done something wrong in the past, don't let it define yourself. Keep it in your mind and move on. You can change. TLDR, a few weeks ago, my mom wanted to invite my ex to the wedding, whom I cheated on years ago. She disrespected my fiance, so I uninvited her, and my father also refused to come. Relevant comments. I will say, glad you had a great wedding and reception. If inviting the ex was a point of contention, why respond to her text? Why isn't she blocked? OP, it was due to the mother problem. Mum was nagging her too. It was just for communication, plus I'm just going to delete her number and not contact anymore. Yeah, fair enough. Commented 2, return the air fryer, don't respond, don't do anything, but don't open it or use tin. Really? I don't know. I think it's a peace. I think it's a peace offering. I just think like let it lie. OP, it's a petty peace apology form. Gonna use it. Not gonna respond. Don't have an air fryer, so it's gonna work, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if making lemonade out of lemons, I guess that's what you're doing. Commented 3. OP, has or did your ex mention taking a step back from your mom and family? I can't imagine feeling comfortable hanging out with a woman who was pushing me to do something I was uncomfortable with. The people the event actually mattered to were uncomfortable with. And then her having such a big meltdown that she missed her child's wedding because of something I didn't want to do in the first place. No one was comfortable with this except your mother, apparently. It would really open my eyes to how it's time to start distancing myself from such an unhealthy attachment that doesn't benefit anyone anymore. OP, I don't know. My brother did tell me that mum is complaining about ex not picking up the calls though. Ooh, okay. So it sounds like that friendship's over too. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just, yeah, very odd that it just kind of skipped. I agree, Squirrel Girlfriend. Degas, I just want a story that is my mum wanted to invite my ex who was pregnant by my child when we were teenagers to my wedding, and we have all the checks for a good Reddit story. Absolutely. We need like a bingo list. Actually, you know what? Let's do that next time. Let's put up a bingo list and see if it like ticks off all of the boxes. I'd love to do that. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really appreciative for you guys to come along on this. And if there are any stories you'd like me to react to, leave a suggestion in the comments. For now, be kind, stay safe, and thanks for watching.